implement the AWS image upload from our React application. So I already have this post written where you can go and see how it is going to be implemented. It's going to be quite basic. We will upload an image and then we will display the image. We will create a separate component for it, and the code for this is all available here, so you can refer to it and you can use it as you like. So let's get started. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to log in here, and I log in. There's a small bug that I have here, register showing on the login. We can correct it quickly. If I go back to the navigation component, I'm checking if the user is there, then show logout, otherwise log in. So what we can do, we just need to cut this and put it next to the here. Now this will give us an error because it's a two. We basically need to wrap it like this in React. It's important. So now that error should be gone. So now log out. Now if you log in, it's worked fine. Now in the dashboard, I need to upload the image, and AWS side to make things working. Simply go to the AWS website, and here we need to create a bucket. So I need to sign in here first. I'm gonna sign in using the root user email and password. Alright guys, so I already logged in here. You can see that then you just need to provide the login and a username, email, and password. You can log in straight away according to your credentials. Now I'm going to go to the S3 bucket here, and there we're going to create a bucket. So currently I have a bucket here, and it is just a test bucket. So we can create similarly another bucket here and give it any name you like. So I just say here test bucket 29. You can give it any name you like. Now for the ownership, we are going to use the recommended method here. Then we have public, block public access settings for this bucket. So it's going to block everything that we don't want. So we just can uncheck this, and you can see here you need to acknowledge it. So I acknowledge it as well. Bucket versioning, if you want to versioning it, you upload a file, then you upload it again, then it gives it a version. You can delete the previous version. It's works like that. So we don't want to do it. I keep it disabled. You can add the tag here if you want to. For encryption, we're not going to touch anything and just going to go ahead. So far this is all it is, and this is the name of our bucket we gave. So now I hit create bucket, and I get an error like bucket with the same name already exists. So this can happen. So you need to provide another name. So let's put another number here. So create bucket, and our bucket is ready. So we have test bucket right there. So I go inside it. Obviously we don't have anything. So what we need to do, we need to work a bit here before working on our code, so that permission wise we are fine. Now when you go to the permission tab, you will see this like with the all public access we already blocked here. Then we have bucket policy. So for that you can go back to the post, and in the post I gave the policy. Let's first copy it and then see what it is. So I'm gonna paste it there. Right there we can edit it and put it here. Now there is a policy generator as well. You can click there. You can go here and you can create or generate policy. So for that you need to go here. You need to say S3 bucket policy. You are allowing or what you're not allowing. You can select here access to all, for example. Then you can select the service, in this case S3. Action required, you can select here the action, the policies, and then here the ARN, which is the bucket name. From there you can get it and paste here, and you can then finally generate it and use it. So the one we copied here, you can see here, basically it is a JSON object. It has version, and this is the version given. Then there is ID, and then statement, then there is ID again. In effect it says allow, so it is allowing. In the principle it says all, so you can see that it's similar to here. And the same way then there is action, so we are saying get object. So if you go here and even search for this, So you can see that there is the get object. So similar way, this policy is generated, and the resources, you need to put here your bucket name. So in our case, our bucket name, you can see the ARN that is required here. Afterwards, when you select, you need to provide ARN here. Now go back here. In our case, our bucket name is this. So I'm gonna copy that and gonna replace it here. So it's a test bucket, and then that's it. So once you have the policy ready, it is going to get us the all objects, and it's because it's allowing it all, so we can save these changes. Now once that is done, scroll down. There is a cross origin resource sharing course, so we need to edit this as well. I already added in the post, so let's go back there. And here, if I scroll down, we need to add this. So we're gonna copy this from here and go back there. So paste here. So we are allowing basically all, and the request method, if it is get post put, we are not allowing delete, and any origin is currently allowed. So you can customize this according to your need. You can go and read for the documentation here. For this very tutorial, this setting will work just fine. As long as you are not deleting anything, it's just gonna work fine for your code as well. So we're just gonna save the changes, and it's all done. But refer back to the post now if we required any other settings basically. So we added the course, and after that, these public access, we already turned it off, so we have no blockage. Also, the access control list, we need to make sure that everyone has list and read, and authenticated user list and read. So this is what we need to do. So let's do that. So go back here, look for the access control, which is right here. And now currently it is not enabling me to edit it. And you can see that there it says bucket owner. We have the list and write and read and write. Then everyone we have dash dash. So we need to edit it. So what we need to do, you just need to click here, and here it says ACLs disabled. So initially we gave the access to ownership of this account. You can see here it is written as well, but we want to customize it, so we just need to enable it. So just acknowledge it and save changes, and this is gonna let us edit. So now when I go back here, and this time I can see that edit is enabled, I can click there. Now this time everyone, we want to list it as well as read. So we don't want to give it write, and it is disabled as well. That's good. So for the authenticated user as well, list and read. So now AWS is telling us that you are giving the access to people. Are you sure? So as long as you are not putting any data that is something that you want to hide from people, or you want to protect, it's totally fine, because it's going to be publicly accessible. So we are just saying that, okay, we are listing it and people can read it, so it's all right. So save the changes. So from the AWS end, we are all set. Now let's go back to the code. If we require any changes, we will do that later on. So for now, I think everything is done. So in the code, what I want to do here, we need to close this navigation. In the dashboard here, we need to create a brand new component. Here, just next to the dashboard, I'm going to create a component. I'm going to call it file upload.jsx. All right, and then React functional component, and we have file component here. Now here, we want to use the use state. So I want to say here use state from React. We will be using it. Also, we need to install a package. So go back to the post. There, if I scroll down, there is this package, AWS SDK. So this will allow us to communicate with AWS S3 bucket. So we need to install it. So let's do that. Copy it. Now, so what I want to do, I want to open the container. So we have container which is running for it. So Docker PS, this is the front end container which is responsible for our application. So I say Docker exec IT, and we put here the first three numbers from the container ID. So it's going to be 810, and then bash. So we are going to be inside it. So we are inside the container here. Now I need to copy the command again. And here -f at the end is like install it with force. So that's what we are doing. Enter it. It is gonna install the package, and yeah, that's it. So I want to exit it. If you face any issues, you can restart the container as well. So Docker container restart again 810, which is the container ID. So hit it. It is going to restart our application, and then it should all be fine. So let's see if I refresh here. Yeah, so far so good. So what we need to do here is now go back to the code, and here we need to create the required things that we need to add here. So first thing first, I want to have here break some, okay, and then I'm going to add here state. So basically we want to check. So I say here constant, and this is going to be file because we are uploading a file. So they're going to be file and set file. This is the we need use state, and use state by default I'm providing it now. Then I also want a constant to check for the uploaded file, and set, and again bypass here by default null. Basically we need to show the code so that we can display the image as well as we can get the image from user. So what I want to do here is we just created this state, so I'm going to copy this state here. I say if we have this state, then we want to display the image. So here what we can do, we can use the img tag from HTML. Here we need to set source, and source going to be the image, the uploaded file. And then we can say here alt. Now here you can put anything, any text related to image. Then we have some, let's put width here. So this width going to be 100 pixel. So currently we don't have this image, so it's not going to do anything because we are checking this here, that if you have the uploaded image, so then we're not going to have any error. So here 100 pixel as well. After this, when we have the image, we can again put a break, and after break we can put here input, so that we can get the file. So type going to be file obviously. Then I say here on change, and in this on change we want to run a function, and this function going to be handle, okay, handle upload. Now this is just a custom function, you can give it any name, so I just gave it this. Now here after this we need a button, so again HTML button here on. Then we have on click, and this on click we want to have, actually this, let this call this one handle upload, and here we call handle file change. Okay, so there are going to be two functions basically. Here we can put upload as a text. I save this. Now go back here. You see there's nothing, so we need to go back here in dashboard, and here we need to import it. So what we can do, we can import right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say file upload, and there it goes. Close it, save it, and go back to the component again. It says these functions, okay, we created two functions, but those are not present, so we need to deal with that. So handle file change and handle upload, these, both of these. All right, so the simplest way to get rid of these errors is creating these functions. So let's do that. Constant, it's going to be handle file change. It's going to be arrow function. And the same way, I'm going to copy and paste. And I'm going to call it handle upload. Here we can say console.log. Uploaded for now, just the text we're displaying. Now let's deal with the handle file change. So what we can do here is we can get an event. So here we can say event, and what I want to see here is console.log, and then event.target.files, and we need to pick the first file. So we will see that, and the same way we want to set this to set file, and I'm gonna copy this and paste it here. So let's see how it works. So I'm gonna put it here. All right. Okay, let's go back to the browser, refresh. So we have it here. I go to inspect console, and this mobile we don't need it right now. So what we want to do here is basically see. So I choose here. So I selected an image and it came right here. So you can see that we get the image name, last modified, and it's a file object. So we get all this information right there. And the same way, if I go back here, I'm able to set that data right there. So if I say here files 0, so that's what we get. So what we do here, I just select this image again, and we get that. That's fine. Now let's go back here. So we are setting a file. In here in upload, what we can do, I remove that, and we will put a condition. So I say if not file, and here I simply say return. So this will not proceed. However, you won't get any kind of notification or anything, so you can put that here if you want to. So for that, what you can do, basically you can say here, or you can alert it, alert. I'm just putting the simple alert here, and then return. For now, this is the quickest solution we can do. So I just put here no file selected, or you can display it on the browser, on the page, anywhere. So this is what it's going to be. So we need the file. So as the user selects the file, so obviously we will have a file here. So this is going to get us the file. That means at this point we have file. So we need to send this to AWS. So here I say constant, and I'm going to call it perms, and then it is going to be object. Here I call bucket, and that's going to be the bucket name. And then here we can put the bucket name. Then we need, second is the key, which is going to be the file name. After that, we want to pass here the body. All right, so that's going to be the file. All right, so what I want to do here is I'm going to pass here a constant. So I say here S3 underscore bucket, and you can set this on top of your file, because if you use this 10 times in a code, then you just need to change it one place. So I say here S3 bucket, and then put the name right there. So here, first of all, we go back here. Our bucket is this one. So I copy the name, go back to the code, and put right there. Now we are left with key, so we need to pass the key now. So we are getting the file name, so we can pass file.name as key. So we have our perms ready. Now what we can do here, we can call S3, and then we can basically dot upload, and then we can pass here perms, and then here in second we can pass a function, and this function is going to process is like, it's gonna get an error and data, and then inside it we can process that. So if we say here if error, so what do we want to do? We want to console log console.error, and we can pass here error, and we need to make it a string. So it's an error uploading file, and then you can attach the header here, so comma and then header, and then here else, if we don't have any header, set uploaded file, because that's what we want to do, and we are going to basically get the data, and there we look for location. So that's what we want to do. And to check that we're getting it, what we are getting, we can select console log, and here you can say file uploaded, or you can success message, successfully, anything like that. So here is a uploaded file. All right, now all is good, but what it is S3. Basically, we installed the AWS package and we need to leverage it now. So what we want to do here is we want to say import, and I want to say here AWS from, and this is going to be the SDK, so it's AWS SDK. From this we are importing it, and where we created our bucket constant right there, but I'm going to create here a constant. I call it S3, and what it is going to be, it's going to be new, and then AWS dot, and then capital S3, and then what we want to pass it here is an object. So we need to pass an object, and this is going to make a connection with AWS. So we need to pass here first params. All right, so this params is going to be a bit different. This is going to be bucket. All right, and then bucket, we already have this here, so you can see that we are using the bucket already twice. So this is something you just have to change here, not the two places, in case you change the bucket. And then we want to pass the region, so here region, and then you can pass here also a constant. So we haven't created it, so create it. Let's create it now, region. So let's go just above here. Here we say constant region. Now for the region, I go back to the browser. Here, when you can see here, click there, you can see that US East North Virginia, but we need to pass this name, US East 1. So let's pass that name. So here we say it's going to be string again, and this is going to be US East 1. Okay, so now your region is there as well. Now before this code works, you need to provide the access key as well, access secret and access key. So for that, what you need to do, you need to go to the AWS again, and here go to your account. Here you'll see security and credentials. There in security and credentials, you should see the access keys. So here I have two access keys. You can see that those are created, access key ID is given, and you can see that US East region last used, all that given here. So it's active, both of these, so I cannot create a third one. So what do you need to do? You need to create a new one if you haven't present here. If you already have access key and a secret code, you can use that. If you don't have, you just can create here. It's just a simple step, and it's going to provide you the access keys. All right, so what we need to do here is, in my code, I go back here, and here I'm going to put the access keys for me. Okay, so I just added it right here, and yeah, that's what we need basically. So from the code side, I think we are done now. Now it's time to test. So let's go back to the code there, refresh, and now let's upload the image and then display the image. So I select the image here, and when I select, we get here the image. You can see that all this data is, so we use the file.name, that is going to be working just fine. We are also checking the size. You can also check and put a validation as well. You can see here we have type here, so you just need to match with the type. So now if I hit upload, and we have the image displayed, you can see that the file uploaded successfully. We have image displayed right there. And if I go back here and
and here, and you can see that the same file with the same name just uploaded just right now. So we successfully uploaded it, we successfully displayed it, and later on we can display it here in navigation for the user. If you want to use it for a post or anything, you can do it according to your needs. You can adjust the display width and everything you want, whatever you like. Hope you like this video. This was a quick one, so I'll leave the link to the post in the description so you can use the code. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.